Hi everyone, welcome to my newest channel, Recipes All Day with Dr. O'Day. One of my favorite things is asking my students for recipes, and then I make those recipes and I share the results with my students. Now, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start featuring these student recipes on my YouTube playlist, Recipes All Day with Dr. O'Day. Now, this first recipe is actually one of my own. It's a recipe that I made yesterday, which I'm excited to share with you. It's a smoked bacon wrapped stuffed pork tenderloin. And this was absolutely amazing, so stay tuned to see how I made it. As always, make sure to hit that like and subscribe and let me know if there's any content that you'd like to see coming up. So this bacon wrapped stuffed pork tenderloin is one that I made a few years ago for Thanksgiving, and yesterday was the first time I've made it since, and I'm not sure why. It's really easy. Takes maybe 15 minutes of preparation, and then it takes about 2.5 to 3 hours on the smoker, and it turns out awesome. It's absolutely fantastic. Throw it with a baked potato, make a salad on the side, something like that, and you are going to be in heaven. And so if you'd like to see the full recipe, I'm going to have that below. You're more than welcome to either follow along with the video, or you're welcome to use that recipe. Just as a heads up, in this particular recipe, I don't measure anything. I just kind of slap stuff down. I slap stuff on the inside of this thing, I roll it up, and then I smoke the thing. And so that's how we make this one, and I'm excited to share with you. I'm excited to see what you think. So the first thing we're going to do is make a bacon weave. All you have to do is just alternate the bacon strips into a square. I use, maybe 4 to 5 pieces of bacon in each direction. We then have to slice the meat. What you can see here is I start about 1/2 inch in on one side and just cut a slit in the meat that runs about to where there's just about 1/2 to 1/4 of an inch left. Then I turn it 90 degrees and I cut another 1/2 inch in and cut until there's only about a 1/2 inch left. And I rotate another 90 degrees after that, and again I need to cut another 1/2 inch all the way down to where there's just a 1/2 inch left. And what happens here is I'm basically cutting a spiral in this meat, and that allows me to then lay this meat out flat. And once I have that laid out flat, I can then use a meat mallet to then kind of tenderize the meat, as well as just kind of get this ready, make it a little bit bigger so that it's going to fit on that, that weave of bacon that we have there. And we want this to be about as wide as the bacon weave, but then just a little bit shorter than the bacon weave. So it won't quite go up to the top. It won't be the perfect square. It'll stay a little bit of a rectangle. But you do hammer this out just a little bit there, and then you're just going to lay it on top of that bacon weave. You don't need to hit this thing very hard. You aren't trying to destroy the meat. You're just going to lay this out across that bacon once you have that done. So here I just lay it across the bacon, and it'll end up looking something like this. So now we're ready to start putting the filling on. So the first thing that I do is I just put 3 big globs of cream cheese into this thing. I didn't measure anything. I spread it around with my hands, and then I go ahead and put some garlic on the inside, some onions on the inside, and a little bit of spinach on that. Once I've added all of those things, I then just go ahead and roll this thing up. Sometimes the bacon doesn't want to roll with it, and sometimes maybe you missed a piece of bacon in the weave. It's fine. It's going to end up just fine. Just roll the thing up, try to piece all the pieces of bacon back in there, deal with any fussy bacon, and then you just get this thing rolled up into a nice little log. Tuck back in any pieces of bacon that kind of made their way out of the weave. You'll see I actually have a slice of bacon just running across the whole top. Who cares? It's fine. That slice of bacon worked out just fine. I tucked it in a little bit on the edge. And then we're ready to then take some cooking twine. And I just put, 3 pieces of cooking twine, one on each end, and then one in the middle. We wrap this thing up just so that it's going to stay closed for us while we cook it. Then we have these things ready to go into the smoker. I ended up smoking these at around 225 to 270, so I have a charcoal smoker. It keeps a pretty good temperature, but you know, when this thing comes out, it just looks awesome. The bacon does look a little bit burned, but you can see the bacon is still a little bit malleable, a little pliable, and the bacon is absolutely delicious. I actually smoked this with apple wood, so you can use whatever wood you like to smoke things with, but I really prefer apple wood smoked bacon. And you can see when we go ahead and we untie this thing and we cut into this thing, oh my goodness, like this just looks amazing. So we cut into it, it cuts real easy. Try not to mess up the bacon as you do so, but this looks great. Well, that's what I have for today. Please stay tuned to see all of my student recipes that I end up making. And if you have any content that you'd like to see or any questions that you have, please let me know. Have a great rest of your day.